Some big news happened. Time's gone a little bit here, but the Nintendo Switch Direct, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, comes out, and I would love to get your take on like the pricing for the because a lot of people, there was a huge focal point on the price of the games and how much it costs for the Nintendo Switch 2 and stuff. But man, they released some really I'm so excited about a couple of these games specifically that we're going to talk about. You got a chance to watch the Nintendo Switch Direct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Let's start with the Nintendo Switch 2. As a console, what do you think about it?
I think it is a really good successor to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
It supports up to 4K in docked mode, 60 FPS, or if you want more performance, you can boost that up to 120 frames per second at 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
And in handheld mode, it's 1080p, 60 FPS, and if for performance mode, it's 720p, 120 frames per second.
And the screen's larger. I love the magnetic Joy-Cons.
Magnetic Joy-Cons, that.
Love that. Nintendo has always done a really good job of kind of, like, I can think back with the Wii to like just a number of their consoles. They've always done some really innovative things. Like, for example, taking the Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch 2 and they can be like a mouse.
A mouse, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Fortnite players are gonna go nuts with that mechanic.
Now, I'd like to get your take on this. I am a little bit concerned about it just because I'm like, dude, it looks like it's gonna break really easy when you're stuff like that.
Right.
Are you concerned about stuff like that? Or do you think, because I'm thinking about it from the perspective, remember when the Wii came out and there was the big issues were when it first released, the Joy-Cons, or the whatever you call them.
Wii remote?
The Wii remote, you would it was really easy to fling, and then it would like break, and it was like not super durable.
Right.
So they've had a history with this. Now, obviously, and they've done certainly, hundreds of thousands of hours of testing, but those little details like that are what concern me about it. On paper, it's an awesome, innovative idea. The question is it going to work? Like, do you think it'll work properly?
I would have a feeling it would work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm really excited about that. They also introduced Game Chat.
Right.
Game Chat, I don't think it's going to be... I don't think it's like a game changer. I think it's cool.
It's basically Discord before Nintendo.
Right. I think it's cool. I think it's neat that they made it a feature. I don't know how many people are actually going to be using it. But it is interesting. I'm interested to see how it kind of plays along with the Switch itself. And how that, because you can imagine games like Mario Party and even like Mario Kart and all these different games that you can like play collaboratively,
right?
Or competitively. It's going to be an interesting addition to just the Nintendo Switch. The other thing is, before we move on from the Nintendo Switch 2, the price. A lot of people there's been a good amount of backlash about the price, that being $449 for the console.
Right.
What do you think about the price?
I think the price is a good jump from the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Do you think it's fair though?
Yeah, it's fair. It's 4K. I mean, come on. You're gonna have to.
And I'm totally with you. And the thing about it for me is like, people who are upset about it, I'm like, okay, first of all, number one, the Nintendo Switch 2 is still cheaper than the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5.
Right.
That's number one. Number two is it is an upgrade in a number of ways from the first Switch to the second Switch.
Right.
And I think that, where people really were upset, they were upset about the price of the Switch, but they were really upset about the price of the games.
Right.
Okay. So this gets to the games. Now, I don't have I do have a problem with how much it is for the physical copies. I don't
Right.
have an issue with the digital, and I'll tell you why. What do you think though about the price of the games?
The price of the games, it for what I understand, and that there's the rumor that GTA 6 is going to be $100, setting the physical game to $90 basically set up GTA 6 to be $100.
Mhm. It did, without question.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
me
Now
neither.
now that being said, I have no problem with them having Mario Kart World at $80 or whatever, and like Donkey Kong Bonanza at $70, and I'll tell you why. Here's At the end of the day, the way I look at it, guys, if we go back 10, 15 years ago, it was a standard across the industry that all the AAA titles would price their games at $59.99 for a copy of the game. It was like a standard. It was $60. And
Right,
it stayed that way. It stayed that way for like over a decade.
right,
They never changed the price with inflation, nothing. Now, a couple of years ago, they went from $60 to $70. Okay.
right,
Call of Duty Black Ops 6 comes out, they charge $70 to, with the standard edition or whatever.
right.
The reason why I don't have a problem with it is because if the games industry stays at $60, just as an example, with rising inflation over the years, as it's been just inflation and everything else, the cost of games is becoming way more expensive.
For
So,
sure.
like to give you an example, GTA 5 and GTA 4, okay, they cost GTA 4. I believe that was reported on Take Two's earnings that it cost them $100 million to make GTA 4.
Wow.
GTA 5 costed them $200 million. GTA 6 is reportedly going to be
$2
billion dollars.
dollars.
$2 billion. That's with a B, guys.
That is
$1 billion. That is now they're going to make their money back, but what I'm getting at here is if GTA 6 came out at $59.99, it's going to take them longer to make that money back. And what I think it does is it decreases innovation, because think of it like this, Neo. Say you and I are going to go make a video game and we can only charge, $60. Well, let's say we make our money back from that first game, if we want to make another game, if we don't up the price, we're going to basically have to stick with the same graphics, the same budget, all of those
Right.
things. We can't innovate. And so if the games industry like stays at just this price of $60, you have to think of salaries for the people working on the games, to marketing. I would bet anything that GTA 6's marketing campaign alone is going to be the budget of GTA 5. I think that I think they're going to spend $200 million in marketing for sure. 100%. So more like $2.2 billion. Like it's going to be insane. Now, that game's going to be Fortnite on steroids,
Huh.
but the moral of this is this. I think we're going into a time, Neo, where the games industry, Nintendo kind of set this bar, and that's why I think a lot of people are upset. They thought that GTA 6 was going to be the one that set the new standard of games, whereas Nintendo is. They're kind of the ones that are staying ahead of it. And I
Right.
think what we're going to see now from AAA studios is we're not going to see all the games from AAA studios at $60 like it used to be. I think what they're going to do is each individual studio is going to say, okay, Mario Kart World, this is like a flagship title. It cost us this much to make. We're going to place this at $80.
Right.
Donkey Kong Bonanza, it cost us this much to make. We're going to charge this at $70.
Right. Those are
And
just
all the games are going to be different prices, right? And I
Right.
think that's like what I'm saying is just because GTA 6 is going to be $100 or $150, whatever, I don't believe that's going to be the norm.
Right.
I think that every studio is going to look at, like Ubisoft, for example, they're going to say, okay, our flagship titles are Far Cry, Rainbow Six, and Assassin's Creed. So those are going to be our $80 games. Now, these other ones, you know, there are other titles, Splinter Cell and whatever else they decide to make, we make those $70. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think that now we're going to be in a part of gaming history where the prices will fluctuate in ways that we've never seen before. What do you think about that?
I think that's a safe idea.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. The way I see it is if the higher price means that we get higher quality games, I'm 1,000% down to spend an extra $10, $15, $20
for the
on
good
those
graphics.
For what? Yeah, better stories, right?
Right.
Like, would you want to have a Sonic Frontiers 2 that's basically a copy and paste of Sonic Frontiers 1 because they didn't have the budget, or would you rather them make Sonic Frontiers 2 and it's like, holy shit, dude, they just went to another level? You would want to pay the extra money to go to another level,
right?
Right. So it's one of those things that's at least how I feel about it. Let us know what you guys think about that, guys, in the comment section down below, and let us know your thoughts.